close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
Oh, hey guys, hey. I know a lot has happened. I know you all have been watching the videos I've been posting and all that, but I'm currently hot. It's late at night. I haven't bought the air conditioner for my room yet, even though I should have, but I digress. If you're new to the channel, my name is Priscilla. I am a Seattle-based... Excuse me. Forgive me, pardon me, okay? Let's give this another shot. Well, I am a New York-based flight attendant working with a major US airline company. Although I'm based in New York, I'm currently living in Ghana. And if you're new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, support your girl. We're here trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So get it together, hit that subscribe button right there and become part of the family, okay? You're gonna love it here. It's been a lot. I've had a lot happen. I know you all have seen the video with me letting you all know that I'm a mother now. I've had a baby, and with all the excitement comes with a lot of things that I had to do. After having the baby, the plan was to just relocate back to Ghana just to get the support that I needed and just to relax and just rest, okay? I feel like I was on duty for like 9 months, okay? I put in hardcore work for 9 straight months, okay? So now I need to rest. So that's what I'm using my maternity leave at this point. I am quite fortunate that I work with the airline that I work for. At least with my job profile, we are able to take a different type of maternity leave or an extended one, depending on how you want to put it. But we're not here to talk about those things. But I just wanted to say that that's what I'm currently on right now, and that's the break that I'm on. It's been great. I actually enjoyed the break that I've had so far. I feel like it's a much needed break that I needed, especially after going through the pregnancy and everything. In today's video, I wanted to share with you all what my experience has been so far after being in Ghana for 1 month. At the end of the day, one thing I will say is that I am enjoying myself. Like, I'm glad I came home. Even if I just came to visit, to go back to the US, it still doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I feel like at the point in time right now in my life that I'm in right now, being in Ghana is where I should be. I don't think I would have had a good time at all if I remained in Seattle or New York, since I'm based there now during the rest of my maternity leave. I'm glad I actually came back home. I'm happy about that. So let me just start with a backstory, okay? So once I had the baby, I did stay in Seattle for like about 3 months, okay? Because I needed to recover, just to rest it out before I actually flew out of the country. I did stay in Seattle for 3 months after birth or the delivery or whatever, and then I embarked on my journey to come back to Ghana. And me coming back to Ghana was just not to visit. I was actually relocating, like moving, getting rid of everything and moving. And I think I kind of underestimated the amount of work that was going to be required for the move, because it felt rushed, and it was just a whole lot. But all I knew was that I had to get out. I had to leave the country, like, especially with if you know, you know. But all I knew was that I had to get out. That was a goal. I had to get out regardless. And I wanted to spend at a minimum 3 months, at a maximum 3 months, because my maternity leave can be extended up to a year after my baby's born. So I did not want to waste majority of my time in the US when I would rather want to spend it back home in Ghana. So I had to get out immediately, okay? So that being said, it felt rushed. It was a lot happening. Oh my God, it was the most stressful period ever I have experienced when it comes to moving somewhere. Moving was a lot. Just trying to ship a few things that I thought I was willing to get rid of, but I decided to ship them back home to Ghana was a lot, but I managed to do that. The day of travel was a lot. I did not sleep for like almost 24 hours the day of travel. It was a lot, guys. Like, I'm even thankful and grateful to God that I was able to get through that whole process, but with the help and everything. But it was a ton, like it was just a lot, okay? And so I was relocating from Seattle all the way to Ghana. So essentially, to get to Accra, I had to fly out of Seattle to New York. from New York to Accra. I didn't want to go through Europe because I was traveling with the baby and I did not want to go the long route. Going through that route from Seattle to New York to Accra gave me about 17-hour travel time. That's the flight time total. That said, your girl was not checking the weather, okay? When I purchased my ticket, I knew I wanted to leave that day and that was the end of it. I don't care what the weather's gonna look like, whether it snowed, there was a tornado, whatever it was, I was getting out. But long story short, it was during the summer and there were summer storms on the East Coast. Apparently there was some bad weather there. So once we took off from Seattle to New York, we were put in a holding pattern for a while. Long story short, I did not land in New York in time to be able to make it for my flight from New York, JFK, New York to Accra, because we were then diverted to Rochester, New York, I believe. We just had to wait out the weather, and then once it was done, we got back on the plane and then we flew back to JFK, New York. But it was too late. My flight had already taken off and gone. But so I was supposed to get to Accra on Friday, but I ended up having to leave for Accra on Sunday and arrive on, I think, Monday morning. I think that's what it was. Going through all this, bear in mind that I was traveling with a newborn baby, okay? I was traveling with a 3-month-old, okay? So imagine the stress of the move, not sleeping for like 24 hours, and then having been put in a holding pattern for like over 30 minutes in the air, bad weather and all, then having to get diverted to Rochester, New York, and then sitting at the airport for a while, and then eventually coming back to JFK. Okay, so thankfully we had family in Jersey, so we were able to go there and stay during the period, because they could not rebook me the next day or the day after. I could only go on the 3rd day or whatever, because that was when the seat that I booked was available. And I went through all that stress just to get to Ghana, guys, and it was a lot. That's why, you guys, it took a long time before I actually came back on camera and started doing stuff, even though I recorded my time here because I wanted to have it documented for the first week or two. But I'm not even energized to do anything, and I've been here so far for like, it's been 2 months fully now, and honestly, because of all the stress and everything, I've had like no desire to really interact with people. I've just been indoors or just going to buy stuff that I need to settle in, but to actually like socialize and stuff like that, I really have not done that. So if you're my friend and you're watching this and you feel like I've ignored you, even though I've been in Ghana for like almost 2 months, over 2 months now, trust me, it's not you, it's me. I just don't have the desire to socialize right now. Like I really don't. But yes, after being here for a month, I will say it was the best decision I could have made for myself. I feel like I have more help, more support now. I am a Ghanaian, okay, and I've lived between the US and Ghana almost, not equal, but close enough. I've spent like, I think, almost 20 years in Ghana, and I've spent like more than almost 12 years in the US, and the way it was structured was such that I was in and out. So I grew up here, traveled to the US, came back, stayed here in Ghana for a while, then I went back, okay, to the US, and now I'm back, okay? So it was intertwined in a way. So my experience coming back is not going to be the same as somebody who's probably never lived in Ghana or wasn't born here or is not exposed to the cultural nuances in this country, okay? I have experienced both. So my experience moving here, my first month here, cannot necessarily be compared to somebody who is like African American or Black American who just moved here or is relocating here for the first time, or even if you're Ghanaian and you're probably born abroad and you've lived abroad your entire life and you've probably never been here, or you only come here for like holidays or something. Like, so my first biggest issue, a bone of contention, was trying to get an eSIM. That was a lot, and if you guys watched my vlogs, you all saw me go through that experience and everything, and I ended up with, I finally got that eSIM, but that experience was just so exhausting, and it just quickly reminded me how this country can be exhausting sometimes. So if you're planning on moving back to Ghana, just take it one step at a time and just know that this country is so chill and laid back that sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it becomes a bad thing because there's lack of sense of urgency sometimes, okay? But the work will get done. So I did end up with my SIM card. So that was a little issue that I had, and the fact that I had to go back and forth can be frustrating sometimes, especially if you're new to the country and you're coming from a place where things get done when they should get done. So it's kind of like annoying trying to figure out like what is the hold up, what is the issue, what is the delay, especially when people are not necessarily vocal about sharing the reasons behind why things are happening the way they are. So sometimes it can get frustrating. The other thing was that, and this really frustrated me in the beginning, because I was like, oh my god, I just moved here and I can't even access certain apps or certain things that I had access to. Because I could not access certain apps like my chart, among other things, I couldn't even access my health insurance on portal. Like I couldn't access anything. But I quickly found out that I could obviously use a VPN, right? I had heard of VPN being used in countries where certain sites were restricted and stuff like that, but I did not think I would have a need for it, because I did not know that certain platforms that I was using abroad didn't give me access outside of the US for security reasons. Okay, it was for a good reason, but I was like, this is 2025, get a better encryption or something, I don't know. But long story short, I ended up with a VPN. So I'm using VPNs now on my devices just to give me access to certain things that I need to get access to being away from the US. Okay, so if you're thinking of relocating here, consider getting a VPN, especially if you still want to be able to access certain things abroad that you cannot access without using a VPN. And then the third thing was setting up my room. So you guys saw that I got my wardrobe and everything. And I'm a very minimalistic person. I'm not the type of person that wants like a whole lot. I'm very simple, I'm very basic. Like the bare minimum, that's me, right? That's just my vibe. So setting up was not difficult. The reason why I'm saying this is because the way this country is, there's so many things that don't operate or work out the way things work out abroad, like in the US. Like let's say water supply, for example. We get water supply in my area every 2 weeks on a certain day, right? So unlike abroad or the US where water supply is every single day, as long as you pay your water bill, here we get it every 2 weeks, not even once a week, but once every 2 weeks. And once we get it, we fill up our reserves and everything, and we're able to get continuous water supply throughout the 2 week period. However, it's little things like that. The power might go up. So many things, basic things, don't even occur the way they should, right? So that alone is a little bit of frustration for somebody who's not used to intermittent supply of basic necessities, right? I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So because of those things, any other thing can quickly heighten your frustration, right? I say all this to say that just bring yourself down. Like, set your expectations very low, okay? That being said, setting up my room was pretty chill, nothing too crazy, among other things. In terms of food, oh my god, I miss the food so much, y'all. I will tell you guys that when I first moved back, the first week I lost weight. Like I could see physically changes in my body, and I feel like I was more bloated when I was abroad. Coming back, I was less bloated. I lost a few, I haven't weighed myself, but physically I can see a lot of changes in my body. I'm hoping not to gain more weight because the food is so good. But I saw those changes. I miss the food, and we also grew a few things in our backyard. Even though how our garden used to be when I came to almost 2 years ago is no longer how it is, because I left it. You guys have seen my vlogs of us meal prepping for the month and all that, and cooking our chili sauce, our shito, our soups, our stews. You people see that, and I'll be showing you guys a lot of that, because I feel like I want you all to see how basic and simple life can be, and the fact that sometimes you don't need a whole lot to exist and to have like a fruitful or a good life. The other thing was adapting to time zones. I will say, because of the work that I do, once again, if you're new, I'm a flight attendant, I'm a cabin crew member. I work with a major US airline, and during the almost 2 years that I did that job before I got pregnant, I was traveling to different states. I would go to Miami, I would go to Florida, other parts of Florida, which is super hot, like Ghana. I would go to Hawaii, I would go to Alaska, which was super cold. So I was able to work in different weather conditions over that period of time. So moving back, my adjustment to the weather conditions here, or even the time zone, has not been that bad at all. Like I was able to wake up at normal times and still be able to operate like I already lived here. Okay, obviously, like I said, I was already tired and stressed because of the whole moving process, but beyond that, in terms of adapting to time and the weather conditions and the different time zones, I feel like I adjusted pretty well. It wasn't really that bad, but I will say if you are trying to relocate here, just be gentle on yourself. Okay, you're gonna experience jet lag and all that. Like, I arrived on Monday. Tuesday I was already up and about trying to buy stuff. The next day I was out and about looking for an eSIM. Ooh, I forgot to say though that once I got stranded in New York because my flight left, we ended up staying in New Jersey for like 2 days. So although I was stressed out about the move and the flight and everything, because of that delay and me missing my international flight to Accra, I did get about 2 days or 2.5 days of rest before I embarked on the journey to Accra. So I think maybe that helped also. I don't know. Don't be up in a hurry to start doing things. You're not in a competition with anybody. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's rating you. Also, is creating content. I really want to take creating content like really seriously. My goal was to actually record and just document everything, but because of how everything ended up being and how stressed I was, I really was not able to fully document the whole process like I wanted to. But we live, we learn, right? Next time I know what to do, right? But I came back, and right now, because I'm on maternity leave and I took the extended bonding leave, which is not paid, by the way, work that I'm doing right now is the content creating, which is the YouTube you're watching. So because of that, I decided to create 2 YouTube channels, which is my next location, which is what you're watching now, and then I have my next location vlogs, which is going to be more of just my vlogs and my life, whereas my next location is going to focus on my flight attendant life, my commuting life. I'll talk more about people who are trying to be flight attendants or cabin crew members who live in Ghana, who are trying to look at their options for this job, and then in my case, commuting internationally from Accra, just trying to share that experience with everybody else, right? That would be my next location. And then my next location vlogs would be my vlogs, my cooking videos. I want that to primarily become my main income, whereas me being a flight attendant becomes more like a second thing that I'm doing. The 7th thing that I do want to talk about is me attempting to collaborate with other content creators. Like I said, I'm taking this job very seriously. I've already reached out to a few people and I've gotten responses back as to when or what their timelines are with regards to when I would want to create content or collaborate with them. So with regards to that, we're working on it. I have reached out to a few people, but I'm not, once again, if you're watching and you're willing for us to collaborate, please let me know. But the response alone for me, I've been surprised and actually pleased, because a lot of the time when people start to create content, they end up like being in their own like bubble, and I don't blame them because people are crazy out here in these streets, right? You never know who's reaching out to you, what their agenda is, right? So I do get that, and I really appreciate the people that actually responded back to me. If not for anything at all, the fact that, not this hair getting, oh my god, yeah, the fact that they responded, kudos and huge respect for that, right? So that's the goal. I do want to collaborate to be able to get a lot more exposure. The other thing that I do want to talk about is adapting to being a new mom. Oh my god, it's been different. I will say, I feel like it still feels like so surreal to me. I'm still adapting and just trying to figure things out and all that, being a new mom and everything, and it is a learning curve. But I will say that if you are a new mom and everything, don't be too hard on yourself, because I feel like sometimes people underestimate the pregnancy, the process that we women go through, and people just assume that because the journey or the experience of getting pregnant, going through pregnancy and having a baby is a natural thing. People underestimate the impact that it has on you, the individual going through the process, right? Or people don't value the process as much or give it the credence that it deserves, right? But I feel like that is such a, it's not good enough to understand that, oh, you're pregnant and you're going through this and it's this. Like, I feel like it takes a certain level of understanding for somebody to truly appreciate women and us going through this journey, among other things, right? It's an interesting journey to go through. Until you go through it, like it can be compared to anything else. That said, I'm glad I am a mom now, okay? So your girl is happy about that. I will say, if you are planning on coming though, make sure you have some money saved up. You have your emergency fund. You have money for you if you're coming to stay forever. If you have any, for me, I still have work, okay? But if you're coming here to live and you quit your job in the US, make sure you have like a business already set up. You have some kind of money to start the business. Also bear in mind that the business might not yield profit or be profitable immediately, so you need to have a reserve, okay? You need to have a place to live. If you're going to be renting, you need to make sure you figure that out, figure out the rent and your living expenses and everything. Ultimately, overall, I know you guys would have seen me shopping at like the supermarkets and stuff like that. I will say, when you do come, try and leave within your means. My 1 month has been okay so far. So far, it's a 2 thumbs up. I'm glad I made the move. Like I said, I've lived here before, so it's nothing really new. Certain conditions and issues don't really stress me out. I feel like the only thing that stresses me out is the fact that whenever you go to businesses and places, people have like attitudes. Like, it's like everybody's angry. Like, why are we angry? Life is too short, man. Like, calm down. I feel like people are always like pissed off in a way. I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it's just that that's what I'm noticing. Like, people are just like stressed out. I don't know if it's the economy. I mean, I don't know what it is, but people are stressed out, okay? But that's the only thing that I would say I've noticed that kind of like throws me off a bit. I'm like, I just got here, man. I haven't even said a word and you're already mad at me. Like, what did I do? But that's the biggest thing that I've had. This has been a really long chit chat, but I'm glad you guys stayed this long. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to support your girl. Thank you all for sticking and staying with me. I would definitely see you all in my next video. Stay tuned for the vlogs. Bye bye.